How much longer does World of Warcraft have before it fades away into obscurity and is no longer considered the king of MMOs? I know that some people would say that WoW is no longer the king of MMOs, but the game is still going very, very strong and is still very much alive despite controversy, despite bad expansions, and just when is this game going to die? Now, Dragonflight, WoW's current expansion, it has been relatively successful so far in terms of player feedback and appreciation, but, there's a big but, sales for this expansion have been low, and people are certainly less interested in Blizzard Entertainment as a company. So today, I want to talk about this issue. I want to talk about how much longer can we expect this game to be around. I want to offer my opinions as well as those of you guys, the community, on this topic. So let's get started by rewinding the clock, shall we? Let's talk about World of Warcraft when it first came out in 2004. When WoW came out, it was a massive success. It led to massive growth, and it was a huge boom for Blizzard Entertainment. You could only imagine what it must have been like behind the scenes. And as the game continued on, later expansions like Burning Crusade only helped to grow the game more. But after Wrath of the Lich King, World of Warcraft did take a massive hit in terms of its population. It started in like a little bit of a downward trend. And the game since then has been going through a series of ups and downs, with some expansions bringing in larger number of players like World of Warcraft Legion, whereas other expansions have only further harmed the game in the long run, like the recent Shadowlands expansion. Now nowadays, many veteran players, they've left World of Warcraft for other games like Final Fantasy, maybe Ashes of Creation in the future, or maybe these people have just left gaming behind altogether. But despite the veteran players leaving the game, Blizzard has made little effort to make the game more appealing for newer players who might be curious about Azeroth. Blizzard has even refused to create a Warcraft 4 sequel to the extremely popular RTS Warcraft 3, due to the RTS scene not being as popular as it once was due to, well, several reasons. Maybe just the dwindled intellect of gamers. I don't know. But that's the past, and now let's talk about the current state of WoW. So Dragonflight, as I mentioned, is the current expansion, and it is coming off the failures of Shadowlands. And despite a lot of low hopes for Dragonflight in terms of content and gameplay, expansion, again, it's been well received. I've talked about that in previous videos, we don't need to talk about that anymore. However, the damage done by Blizzard's blunders over the years has certainly affected the game negatively, leading to the poor sales on Dragonflight's part. Now, to be fair, we don't have any official numbers from Blizzard, but the company offering 30 days of free game time with the purchase of the expansion, as well as lower boss kill data and a lower presence of the game over on Twitch, this could suggest that the expansion isn't making as many sales when compared to World of Warcraft's previous titles. The point is, even if the game is decent right now, even if it's good or great, players just aren't too keen on supporting Blizzard these days or giving them a chance. And hey, I get it. I completely understand. You know how many negative videos I've had to make on this game over the years? It's been ridiculous. So finally being able to make some relatively positive content, it's nice. But let's talk about the future now. Let's talk about these future expansions, the whole point of this video. So what does all this mean for the future of World of Warcraft? Well, Blizzard, first of all, I think they need to do the following if they want to really turn their game around and be able to pump out the next several expansions, or however many expansions are going to come out, and then be received well, sell well, and get a lot of good community feedback. The first thing, Blizzard needs to keep innovating and offering high-quality gameplay like they have done with Dragonflight. It is a solid expansion, but this expansion is not going to turn WoW into some mega giant like it used to be. No way. It's going to take some time. And that leads to point number 2. Blizzard really needs to push to make the game more appealing to newer players in order to recover the population. I just made a whole video on this subject recently, but right now, in a nutshell, the early game of World of Warcraft sucks, and it needs a major overhaul if Blizzard wants to addict new gamers. Fun fact, I've even been watching videos recently on YouTube of people trying World of Warcraft for the first time, playing level 1 characters and going through the experience, and a lot of the criticisms that I brought up in that new player experience video I just mentioned, they're bringing up. So Blizzard, you really need to overhaul the new player experience. Number 3, they need to continue to operate as a company without any scandals or PR disasters. There's a lot of players out there, they don't care about the company politics. They don't care about what's going on behind the scenes. It means nothing to them. right? They just want to play a good game. They don't care who makes it. They're just a simple consumer. But there's a lot of people out there who, if Blizzard does not align to their values and their beliefs, they're not going to support the company. And hey, that makes perfect sense. And so Blizzard needs to just continue to operate, no scandals, no PR disasters, and really continue with their community interaction. That would be fantastic. And finally, number 4, Blizzard needs to continue to poll, take feedback, and really learn their audience. They need to know their audience, know what they want to see, what they want to experience out of the game. Blizzard needs to make a game based on the audience that they have and not who they think that they have. And this is very important. And I think for the past few expansions, Blizzard has been making a game for the audience they think they had, as opposed to an audience that they actually had. If they were making a game for an audience that they, objectively, honestly had, we probably wouldn't have seen Sylvanas being this main character so many expansions in a row. Mary Sue, I'm not even going to get into that. The point is, make a product for your audience, okay? Right. So if Blizzard can do this, if Blizzard can stay on the ball, if they can continue to make good content, how many expansions does this game have left in it? Well, assuming that each new expansion is good or great in terms of its reviews, I would say that WoW could, in my opinion, my personal opinion, I think WoW could possibly have 3 to 4 more expansions left in it before the game just goes officially into kind of, not dead, but it's just no one really plays it anymore, if that makes sense. However, if WoW does suffer in the later phases of Dragonflight, which could happen, or the next expansion is garbage and the next one is garbage, like all the effort was put into Dragonflight and everything that continues after that is subpar, I think WoW will probably only have 1 to 2 expansions left in it before people just get bored and move on. Now, that's just my opinion, mine. So what I did is I went and ran a poll over on our community tab here on this YouTube channel, and I asked the question, how many expansions do you think World of Warcraft has left in it? And I was very surprised. Over 12,000 people voted, and it was pretty even. 22% voted for 1 to 2, 3 to 4 was 19% of the vote, 5+ was 33% of the vote, and of course you got the show me the results people. And the comment section, if you go and check it out on this channel, it is just strewn with people saying that the game is probably just going to keep on going. Like, it probably more than like we're talking like 6+, 10 expansions, whatever. The game's just going to keep going forever. It's going to be like Skyrim, man, with the constant re-releases. Maybe Blizzard is even taking a note from Todd Howard and Bethesda. At least this guy certainly thinks so. Check this guy out. He says, I can't wait for classic vanilla WoW to come out. That is Mr. Inmate Kieran 6020. He says he can't wait for classic vanilla WoW. Now, me personally, I'm more excited for classic vanilla WoW. Okay, but I guess to each their own, all right? We all know that classic vanilla WoW is going to be far superior to classic vanilla WoW. I mean, come on, guys, right? We can all agree with that. But on a more serious note, where could Blizzard go with World of Warcraft in the future? Okay, sure, Blizzard's gonna make 6 more expansions. But what are they gonna do in those 6 expansions? Are we just gonna go back to Durotar and farm more cactus apples? Well, here's a few ideas just off the top of my head, and I'm sure a lot of people will leave their ideas in the comment section below. But first of all, we could explore the Void Lords further and what they're up to way out in space. These guys have been teased, but we haven't touched them yet, really. We have Sargeras and Illidan's storyline. It's technically not concluded, so we could see a return of both of these characters after their disappearance at the end of Legion. We could also get another world revamp expansion, like in Cataclysm, which is actually what a lot of people are suspecting will be the next WoW expansion after Dragonflight, and that's just due to some hints from Blizzard developers in the form of tweets over on Twitter. Queen Azshara, we could see the return of her, maybe Naga, playable race, I don't know. The old gods of Azeroth could come back, very similar to Dragonflight's storyline. N'Zoth comes back, and then he's just awakening the old gods one at a time, and each one has their own unique raid. There's still a possibility of an island expansion with player ships, which this is probably never going to happen, but people have wanted this for forever. We did get a discount version of it in Warlords of Draenor. It was very poorly received if you weren't there. There's a fully dedicated Emerald Dream expansion that could be in the works, or most importantly, the one expansion that we've been asking for years. We can finally have an expansion all about locating Wu Ping, who mysteriously disappeared from Stormwind years ago during the events of the Cataclysm. Do you think that I forgot, Blizzard? Do you think that we forgot? Because we sure as heck didn't. That's right. Or if Blizzard wants to be really cool, they could continue the storyline of Gunther Arcanus from Classic WoW. You know, the undead on the island in Tirisfal Glades and like the, what's it called, Stillwater Lake or something? Whatever. You recruit him in Classic WoW, and his whole purpose, his whole quest line is you're recruiting him and bringing him to the Undercity, because what he's going to do is he's going to teach necromancy to the Forsaken and to the Horde. This storyline was never once expanded upon in all these years of World of Warcraft. I am still salty about it all these years later, because I remember reading this quest text back in 2005 and I was like, oh wow, necromancers are coming, man, they're coming. Never happened. The point is, there's a lot of possibilities still for World of Warcraft expansions in the future, so I'm sure that so long as people keep playing, Blizzard's going to keep pumping out the expansions. I think maybe there's only going to be 2 to 3 left before really the game just kind of dies out completely, but I don't know, 2, 3, 20? Guess we'll have to see. But man, do I really want a Necromancer expansion before this game dies out. I mean, Death Knights and Necromancers, man, they're all that I've ever wanted in this game since I played Warcraft 3 for the first time all those years ago. We got the Death Knights, now we just need the Necromancers. When Blizzard does that, I can finally die happy and I can quit this soul-crushing game. Alright guys, well if you're curious about how the current expansion in World of Warcraft is doing, if you're not playing it right now, if you want like a quick little review of it, be sure to check out this video on your screen right now, because in it I talk about the things that people are loving the most about Dragonflight and how Blizzard has hopefully turned over a new leaf and is breathing new life into World of Warcraft. I also have videos criticizing Dragonflight. We got all sorts of stuff here on this channel, so if you like the video, be sure to subscribe and I will see you guys with my next video.